some straight up thoughts for the day. First thing I was thinking, I want everyone who sees me on this channel to know that I support religious freedom. I want America to be a place where people of any faith and any belief, no matter how crazy it might seem to me, to be able to have that belief, okay? And I'm not against any person, okay? I like people to come together, not apart, all right? I speak up about religion because I feel these ideas and thoughts can be very negative for our country. But I'm all for religious freedom, totally. And I would stand with anybody, all right, who wants to take away the freedoms of anybody to practice their religion, okay? Another thing I was thinking about today was just how much religion is kind of like a drug. Yes, like a drug. It does make people feel better. And it has an addictive quality. Okay, when we go to a religious service and we feel like we're connecting with the divine, and we feel connected to other people who are like-minded, all right? It makes us feel good, okay? And that's fine, and that's perfectly acceptable. The problem I have is there seems to be this thing in religious people where they can't separate what is real from what is imaginary. And that's where I think there's an issue. I mean, we all want to understand what is imaginary versus what is real, okay? But there seems to be this barrier for religious people to be able to do that. I mean, they live their lives in a world that's real, all right? So they know that the car that they drive is real, okay? And they know, all right, the things that are real, but they like to jump into this imaginary world where things that are not real exist. And somehow it brings them comfort. Okay, there's a big difference to believing that your car is real and then believing that a man was swallowed up by a whale and he stayed there for 3 days and the whale spit him out alive. Hopefully you see a difference in those. If you don't, then you are getting into the world of delusion. Okay, you could imagine that a whale swallowed up a man. Okay, you can imagine that the man stayed there for 3 days and was spit out by the whale and was fine. Yes, you can believe that, all right? But please don't tell me that is reality, because it's not. And so when you start insisting that things that are just simply not real are real, it just comes across as delusional to a rational thinker. Okay, and it's crazy, it's dangerous. All right, now, there are things that you can believe, right, and you can hold dear, okay, that not everyone has to hold dear to. And that's another problem. It's when you, as a religious person, tell me that I must believe what you do. That's not a good way to be. Okay? I never take someone and tell them what they must believe. They can believe whatever they want, in my understanding. Okay? But when you take your belief and then say, no, everybody has to believe what I do, That's dangerous, and I don't really want to see that in my country to the point where people's beliefs are governing over other people. I don't want to see that. Okay? So believe whatever you want to believe. Doesn't bother me in the least. Okay? But don't tell me I must believe that a man walked on water, that a man rose from the dead. And if I don't believe that, I'm not part of your tribe. Come on now. That's getting a little bit crazy, isn't it? No, I'm human like you're human. We're all human. We're all American, the people who live here, of course, and are in our country, America, right? Bottom line is believe whatever you want, but leave me alone to believe what I choose to believe in. And I choose to believe in things that are evidence-based, okay? I could think about and imagine other things. I could go to a movie that speaks about fantasy and science fiction, and that's okay. I may enjoy that movie, and for an hour or two, I might drift away into an imaginary world, and it may bring me happiness, and I may feel good. But I understand it's a movie, okay? And that's the big difference, all right? If you want to be religious on Saturday or Sunday, and you want to drift away into the imaginary world and the delusional world, that's okay. It's like a drug. It makes you feel good. But I'm not into it, and I don't need to be into it. So all I'm asking from religious people is accept me for who I am, okay? Like I accept you and your beliefs. I don't have to be irrational. I don't have to believe what you do. I don't have to be part of your tribe, okay? You could have your tribe, but leave me alone, and I'll leave you alone. And if we want to talk, let's discuss things in a nice, friendly way, because that's the only way that humans should be interacting, unless there's some harm being done by one to another. It's not harmful for me to hear your religious rhetoric and your religious beliefs. I don't mind it. I like hearing it. Right? And it shouldn't be harmful or derogatory for you to hear about how I don't believe what you believe. None of that should separate us as human beings. It should never. So those are just a few thoughts on my mind today.